Mr. Abdullah Shahid, the President of the General Assembly in its 76th session. Welcome to Al-Arabiya, sir.
It's a great pleasure to be here today with you. The privilege and the honor is mine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'd like to start with a question about your slogan and your candidacy was built around. It was built around the theme of hope. Given the continued COVID crisis around the world, the conflicts around the world, the effects and the challenges and the threats of climate change, especially to small country island states, how you plan to bring the hope to the world?
Last 18 months, the world has seen misery as we have never seen. When you talk to your neighbor, when you talk to your family, when you talk to your friends, everyone has lost someone. Everyone has suffered. People have lost jobs. People have been in misery for the last 18 months. Devastation, economic, social, and also mental exhaustion. It's been 18 months of total despair. We were able to, humanity was able to come up with a vaccine in record time. The world has never seen a record where we were able to get a vaccine so quickly. I felt that it is time that the leadership, the General Assembly, come out and tell our people, as the Charter says, we the peoples, our constituents, that yes, there is light end of the tunnel. Yes, there is the possibility of a better tomorrow. Yes, together we can do it. Yes, there is hope for humanity. We need to give this positive message because we need to come out of this spiral that is taking us down.
The Middle East region is riddled with conflict, crisis, and wars. Can the GA play a more active role in places like Syria, Yemen, the Renaissance Dam, Libya? Because it's always left to the Security Council, and we all know the divisions within the Security Council, and it's been rendered ineffective, actually, to find a solution for this country or that. Can the GA, the World Parliament, play a more active role in finding solutions for crisis in my region?
Well, Talal, you know that the Charter of the United Nations very clearly gives the primary responsibility of maintenance of international peace and security to the Security Council. However, there have been instances where the General Assembly has taken lead on instances where the Security Council has continuously and persistently failed to address these issues. The General Assembly, as the world's universal body where all the 193 members are represented, has a very significant role to play. It is the conscience of the international community, where every country has one vote. Everyone is equal. So we are able to send a united message to these conflict areas. And that is the strength of, that is the moral strength of the General Assembly. And I think we have to make sure that we send these positive messages of that the international community is behind in resolving these issues. And I strongly feel that the united messages we continue to convey to these conflict areas would help.
Yemen, there was a donor conference this week of UNGA, and about more than $600 million were raised. But there's still shortage, more than $1 billion in shortage to the immediate humanitarian needs in Yemen. Is there any way the GA can do that to galvanize the donor countries to do more?
It's regrettable that the donor conference was unable to raise the required funding. However, we also have to keep in mind that for the last 18 months, all countries have faced economic downturn.
And donor fatigue.
Donor fatigue, economically everyone has been squeezed, and it's very difficult to keep raising funds. But the message that I'm getting from the General Assembly, the membership, is that let's try to sort these things out. Let us get the required unity into it. There can only be a peaceful resolution. We have seen time and time again, not only in Yemen, in every conflict, we have seen that we go into a prolonged period of fighting, and then end of it, the warring parties come together and they find out that they could have done it much earlier. And during this period of time, it is the normal, ordinary citizens who suffer. They are the people who suffer most. So I think the General Assembly has and could play an important role in bringing this, once again, the moral authority that the General Assembly has would be instrumental in pushing them.
You had many meetings with many foreign ministers, and you discussed with them, I am sure, the current crisis in Afghanistan and the Taliban government. Many member states want to help the Afghani people. They need help. They need economic help. They need food. They need humanitarian assistance. But many countries are reluctant because they don't want to help the Taliban. How do we solve this problem? Give the aid, the humanitarian aid that the people need, but without propping the Taliban, which is actually designated as a terrorist group by the United Nations and the United States.
The humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan is at a level which is very, very saddening. The plight of women and other vulnerable groups in Afghanistan is quite significant. It's very, very sad. We can't let the positive steps that have been taken in Afghanistan in the past in relation to women and children and education, these things, we can't let it be washed away.
But it's being washed away.
We can't.
The schools came back now. The girls are not allowed to go back to school. Women are not encouraged to go to the workplace.
We can't let it happen. We should encourage the role of women to be protected. How do we assist them? Do we assist a government, or how do we go about assisting the Afghani people? I commend the Secretary General for the manner in which he has immediately, very quickly, convened a pledging conference, and I believe that in these countries where we have to directly go to the people, the United Nations has, and it has the capacity to attend to this. So we should not let politics prevent us from helping the people who need assistance, humanitarian assistance, and the United Nations can play that role, and it should.
A seat at the General Assembly carries symbolic significance, a benchmark of the government's credibility and acceptance by the world community. Now we understand the Taliban are asking the United Nations to appoint, to accept Shahid, who is their representative in Qatar, the Taliban movement's representative, as an ambassador to the United Nations. How do you feel personally about a representative of a movement that is classified and designated as a terrorist group? And would the Accreditation Committee and the General Assembly accept such unprecedented appointment to the United Nations? Because I understand the United Nations recognize states, not governments.
So under the rules of procedure of the General Assembly, the matter has to be referred to the Credentials Committee,
Okay.
which usually sits in November. And until then, under Article 29 of the Rules of Procedure, the sitting ambassador continues as the ambassador.
Do you have any special events? Do you have a plan to increase the awareness of the world and the people of the world of the dangers that lay ahead with regard to climate change?
I think it's not a coincidence that during my presidency, the 76th session, we have some major climate conferences, starting from the high-level dialogue on energy, which was convened yesterday by the Secretary General. We have COP26 coming up. We have COP15 on desertification. We have COP15 on biodiversity. And finally, we have the Oceans Conference, all happening during my presidency. So I have termed one of the rays of hope that I'm bringing to the presidency is respond to the needs of the planet. Coming from a small island, I have to prioritize this because I and my people in the Maldives live through this day in, day out. And I'm going to be convening a high-level meeting on the 26th of October to give a final push to COP26. The 193 countries here at the General Assembly coming together, and I hope that we will be able to not only wish good luck to COP26, but also make some substantial contribution. I will also be convening in July next year a high-level meeting to sum up all the major 5 conferences that is happening during my presidency, kind of taking stock. Did we do well? What grade did we get out of these 5 conferences? What are the things we need to do more in order to give them, once again, hope that humanity will come through, that humanity will deliver. I do not want people to lose hope. Maldivians have definitely not lost hope. We see our lands, the beaches being eroded away. We see the change in climate and everything. But still, we believe and firmly believe that humanity will have enough goodness in their heart not to let any one of us totally be drowned.
Notwithstanding climate change and its effects on your country and all small island states, what does your presidency of the GA mean to your people and to the Maldives?
In 1965, when we applied for membership of the UN, when we became independent from the British, the debate in the Security Council, during the debate in the Security Council, some of the permanent members highlighted whether what they call the mini-states would be able to perform the obligations under the UN Charter. Last 56 years, we have been a member. We have never defaulted. We have graduated from an LDC to a developing country status. And today, Maldives holds the presidency of the General Assembly. We have proved to the world it is not the size that matters. It is the commitment, it is the principle, policies that matter, and it is engagement, whether small or big. If you have principles and if you have total commitment to the Charter of the United Nations, if you believe in multilateralism, yes, you can be a leader. And Maldives today is a leader. I'm very grateful for the support that the international community has given us.
And we attest to your leadership, sir, and you have a reputation of being a very astute an effective political leader. We thank you for this interview and for your insights, and we wish you the very best of luck for the session that you are leading. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.